What's up, everybody? So we're back on the shop with another Shop Talk Tuesday, and in this episode we're going to wrap up the chopper build that we started in the last Shop Talk Tuesday video, which was a couple of weeks ago. Now, I did take a week off just to kind of recoup from the whole chopper challenge and then forging some more and forging some more. Let my body just relax so that we could get this thing knocked out this week. So I think y'all are going to like this. I think y'all are going to like the handle material that I'm putting on this. The handle scales are just absolutely beautiful. Now we're going to be doing that, plus I've got to finish the blade to get ready for handle scales to go on it. We're going to try a new process with some vinegar and trying to get some forged scale off. I'll talk about that more in just a second, but that's a new process. We'll see how that goes. But guys, let's go ahead, let's jump into this build, and let's get this thing knocked out. So I figured before I actually started the handle scale part, I would go ahead and do a vinegar soak with this just to get some of this scale off. And I got this idea from David over at David Moon Forge. He's got a YouTube channel. I'm going to leave a link for it down in the description below. But he suggested that I do a soak with some concentrated vinegar. This is 30%. You can get it from like Lowe's, Walmart, stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and let this soak for a few hours. Get all of this little forged scale off and see how that looks. I haven't done this yet, so this is something that's going to be new to me, but that was a good idea, and I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and try it out. So we're going to put this in here if it'll actually fit. I guess it's close enough. Should have enough vinegar to be able to fill that up. Definitely want to be careful with this. This is really concentrated vinegar. You don't really want to get it on you. Whenever I go to take this out, I'm definitely going to use some gloves. All right. That's just enough to fully submerge it. So we'll let that do its job and go from there. All right, so this is after about 5 hours of soaking this blade in 30% vinegar. We'll see how this looks. I don't know if we got all the forged scale off, but I'm pretty sure we got a whole bunch of it. I think that's going to be a good looking blade. Yeah, so we got that big chunk that was right here off. There was a huge piece of it all right here, but that is all cleaned off now. I think that looks good. I think that's a good looking finish on it too. Just going to get this cleaned up, and then we can start working on handle stuff. So we're going to take and mix in some black leather dye. Just a little, like a drop or two. Just a little bit goes a long way with this. And this will dye our epoxy black. So now that we got that mixed up, we're going to go ahead and put a thin coat over everything. I do have channels ground out on this to give that epoxy kind of a pocket to sit into, and then drilled a hole through here so that it can cross over. It's just going to give us a good chance to make sure we have a good bond. There's clamps. Good, all the way through. Now what I'll typically do is alternate the clamps like this so they're easier to tighten, and then we'll just come through and just kind of make sure we got epoxy all the way around. There's no real gaps or anything like that. Everything's looking good, and we can clean off some of the excess. Now I could be wrong here, but I do feel like that leather dye gives me just a little bit more of a work time with this epoxy. I mean, it is 5-minute epoxy, so it's going to start drying quick, but it seems like I get a little bit more work time out of it by putting that dye in there. I don't know if it's because there's a little bit of alcohol in the dye or not, but it seems like it works like that. All the excess cleaned off. There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and do this chopping process. I'm gonna start off choked up on it, and then we're gonna finish back here. So just try choked up on it. So that works. And then we'll pull back on the handle. Tip is awesome. Edge still looks good. Tip looks good. You can see that on there. Still shaves all the way down it. That definitely works as a chopper and a razor to shave with if need be. Alright guys, now that we got that chopping part done, I want to go ahead and give y'all some close-ups of the handle on this. Now, in the process of doing this particular build, I went a couple of directions with how I wanted the handle to look, and I'm happy that it ended up like this. Now, originally I was going to do these scales plus some liners. I had some yellow, I had some red, I had some black, and I was thinking, which ones do I want to go with? Asked a couple of friends, they thought yellow. That would have probably looked good, but I really sat down and started thinking about it with how the handle material looks. Would the liners add to the build? And I don't think that they would have. I think they would have probably taken away a little bit, because I love this transition going across this spine here. Just that beautiful banding going across there from those awesome scales that are just putting in all the work to look as awesome as they do. And I think that if I would have had a liner on here, it would have taken away from that cool looking grain. And if it doesn't add to the build, sometimes you gotta take it off. You gotta take it away. That's the way I feel about it, and I'm happy that I did, because I think that that looks absolutely gorgeous, exactly how it is. Also, I was gonna go with black pins, but then I really started looking at the scales again, and I saw this cool these little hints of like copper grain through here, and I thought, I bet copper pins would look beautiful on that. And they do. I am super happy that, again, I took the time. Look at that. That is so cool. I'm happy that I took the time to really look at the material and go, okay, let's change some of our decisions and make better ones. So that is how this fully turned out. I knew that I wanted to go with a Coke bottle profile, so I went with a nice subtle one. Now, the big thing for this, because how long the handle is, it's trying to focus on where the transitions need to be between the taper going forward, the taper going backward, and where the flare is. I needed to make sure that whenever I held it here, it was comfortable. So that taper needed to come all the way back and flare up about right here, so that whenever I'm holding this, it flares up to the end of my hand. Also, whenever I'm holding it back here, that it flares how it's supposed to. So this transition is more round right here, as opposed to coming up and then tapering in, a big rounded section right here. I made it nice and subtle, nice sweeping, nice and round profile here to be able to handle that. And then Got a nice little taper around there for your pinky to be able to wrap around it. And I think that worked out really well. So, of course, with a handle like this, pull it all the way up to the front, choke up on it to be able to go, close on things that you need to do. And then bring it back here, get the extra leverage for chopping. Is it the most functional knife on the planet? No. Would it look cool if I would have shortened the handle and brought all of this up to here? Yeah. But I love how crazy that looks with this big old guy sticking out back here. I mean, that is just absolutely awesome. And that just screams, yeah, that's a knife. So I really like how it turned out, like the handle material, the pins, plus this whole brute de forge finish where we forged everything in right there. Got that flare right here for choking up on it. I think it turned out pretty cool, but I'm always interested in what y'all think. Now, did y'all like the process of this? Do y'all like the handle material, the blade profile? Do y'all like the chopping that we did? Let me know, comment section down below. Guys, that's pretty much the end of this build. Now, what do we have moving forward? We got a couple of smaller knives I'm going to be making leading up to Blade Show. I've got some cool little neck knives / pocket knives that I'm going to be giving away to a few people. So I'm going to be forging those, making those for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be showing you all that process on the Shop Talk Tuesday episodes coming up. Plus, we're going to be in Blade Show Atlanta, so make sure you come up, say hi. I'm going to be hanging around Dennis Tyrell's booth here and there, plus walking around, talking to people. If you see me, make sure you come up, say what's up, shoot the shit for a little bit. Guys, that's the end of this. Make sure, subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. That's it. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. I will catch y'all next week on Shop Talk Tuesday, where we're going to make some fully forged integral knives. Y'all have an amazing day. See y'all.